Welcome. Today we are going to explore a deeply important idea. In a world full of noise, silence wins. This might sound simple at first, but when we really think about it, silence holds a power and significance that often goes unnoticed. Especially in our modern world where sounds, words, and distractions surround us constantly. Silence offers something rare and valuable. Let's take our time to understand why silence matters, how noise affects us, and what silence can teach us about living a better, more meaningful life. First, let's think about what we mean by noise. Noise isn't just loud sounds like traffic or construction. It's also the constant chatter in our minds, the endless flow of information from our phones, TV, social media, and the rush of daily life. Noise fills our attention so much that it leaves little room for quiet or calm. This noise, both external and internal, often pulls us away from what truly matters. Philosophers have long thought about noise and silence. Ancient thinkers like the Stoics and Buddhist philosophers valued silence not only as absence of sound, but as a state of inner peace and clarity. The Stoics believed that controlling our inner world is the key to freedom, and silence helps us calm the restless mind. Buddhist teachings highlight silence as a path to awareness and enlightenment, helping us listen deeply to ourselves and the world around us. When we live in a noisy world, it's easy to lose connection to ourselves. The constant input can overwhelm our thoughts and emotions. Noise can scatter our attention, making it hard to focus or reflect. Silence, on the other hand, invites us to pause and listen. It helps us notice what is really happening inside and outside of us. Silence is like a mirror. It reflects who we are when the distractions fall away. Modern science supports this ancient wisdom. Studies show that silence can lower stress, improve concentration, and boost creativity. When our environment is too noisy, our brains work harder to filter distractions, which tires us out mentally. Silence gives the brain space to rest and recharge. This rest is not empty. It is fertile ground for new ideas, deep thinking, and emotional healing. But silence is more than just absence of noise. It is a presence. When we embrace silence, we step into a deeper experience of life. We become more aware of our thoughts, feelings, and sensations. We begin to hear truths that noise hides. This presence creates space for wisdom to emerge and for genuine connection with ourselves and with others. In a world that often values loudness and speed, silence challenges us to slow down. It asks us to be patient and attentive. Silence teaches us humility, reminding us that not every moment needs to be filled with words or action. Sometimes the most meaningful things happen in quiet stillness. Now you might wonder, how do we find silence in a noisy world? It may seem difficult, even impossible at times. But silence is not just about avoiding noise. It's about creating moments of calm wherever we can. This might mean turning off our devices for a few minutes, sitting quietly without distractions, or simply taking deep breaths and focusing inward. Even brief moments of silence can have powerful effects. Silence also plays a crucial role in communication. True listening requires silence. When we remain silent and listen carefully, we understand others better. Silence creates respect and space in conversations. It allows emotions to settle and thoughts to emerge clearly. Without silence, our interactions can become rushed, shallow, or conflict-filled. Another way silence wins is through its relationship with truth. Often, the loudest voices do not speak the most truth. Noise can be used to confuse, distract, or overwhelm. Silence, in contrast, allows us to discern what is real and important. It gives us the clarity to see beyond superficial noise and focus on deeper meaning. Philosophically, silence invites us to question the nature of reality itself. What is left when all noise fades? What remains when the distractions stop? This question points to the essence of existence, our awareness, presence, and being. Silence is the background on which life's colors are painted. Without silence, these colors blend into chaos. As we reflect on silence, we must also recognize that silence can be uncomfortable. Many people fear silence because it confronts them with themselves. It can reveal doubts, fears, or loneliness that noise often masks. But this discomfort is part of silence's power. It challenges us to face what we avoid and to grow from that experience. To embrace silence fully, we need courage and practice. Like any skill, it takes time to become comfortable with stillness. We learn to sit with ourselves without distraction, to observe thoughts without judgment, and to accept moments of quiet as valuable rather than empty. In conclusion, silence wins because it reconnects us to what matters most, our inner world, our relationships, and the deeper truths of life. In the constant noise of modern existence, silence is not weakness or absence, but strength and presence. It is a space of peace, clarity, and wisdom. By choosing silence, even in small ways, we reclaim our attention, our calm, and our ability to live with purpose. Thank you for listening. In the next part, we will explore practical ways to cultivate silence in your daily life, and how silence can transform your mind and heart. Until then, remember that in a world full of noise, silence always wins. In the first part, we explored why silence holds a unique and powerful place in our noisy world. Now, in this second part, we will dive into practical ways to cultivate silence in your daily life. We will also examine how silence can transform your mind and heart, helping you live more fully and peacefully. To begin, it's important to understand that cultivating silence is not about escaping reality or withdrawing from life. Rather, it's about creating intentional moments where silence becomes a supportive environment for your thoughts, emotions, and awareness. Silence can be a refuge in the chaos, a place to recharge, and a path to deeper insight. One simple but effective way to cultivate silence is through mindful breathing. Taking slow, deep breaths draws your attention inward and anchors you in the present moment. When your mind races or feels overwhelmed, focusing on your breath brings calm. Even just a few minutes of mindful breathing can create a silent space inside you, reducing stress and restoring balance. Another practice is to set aside quiet time each day. This doesn't have to be long or complicated. It could be 5 minutes sitting in stillness, away from screens and distractions. Find a comfortable spot, close your eyes if you wish, and simply allow yourself to be. Notice sounds around you, your bodily sensations, or the rhythm of your breath. Don't try to force thoughts away, just observe them gently and return to your silence. Journaling can also help deepen silence. Writing down your thoughts and feelings brings them from your busy mind onto paper. This process clears mental clutter and creates space for reflection. After writing, sitting quietly and reading what you've written can reveal insights you might miss amid noise. In today's world, technology is one of the biggest sources of noise. To cultivate silence, consider creating digital boundaries. This might mean turning off notifications, designating certain times to check your phone or email, or even having tech-free zones in your home. These boundaries help you reclaim attention and protect your inner silence from constant interruption. Nature is a powerful ally in cultivating silence. Spending time outdoors, away from urban noise and electronic devices, naturally invites quietness. The gentle sounds of wind, birds, or water often encourage a calm mind. Walking slowly in nature or simply sitting quietly can help you reconnect with the world in a peaceful way. It's important to remember that silence is not about emptying your mind completely. Thoughts will come, and that is normal. The goal is to create a relationship with your thoughts where you observe them without getting swept away. Silence is the space in which thoughts arise and pass without disturbance. With practice, you develop greater control over your attention and a deeper sense of inner peace. Now let's look at how silence transforms the mind. When your mind is constantly bombarded by noise and distractions, it becomes fragmented and fatigued. Silence offers rest and restoration. It improves focus and memory, allowing you to process information more clearly. This clarity is not only helpful in daily tasks, but also crucial for understanding yourself and making wise decisions. Silence also fosters creativity. Many artists, writers, and thinkers speak about the importance of quiet moments for inspiration. When the mind is free from noise, new ideas can emerge naturally. Silence provides the mental space needed for imagination to flourish. On an emotional level, silence allows you to connect more deeply with your feelings. In the noise, emotions can get buried or exaggerated. Silence creates a safe space to feel without distraction or judgment. It encourages emotional healing and resilience by helping you understand and accept your experiences. Furthermore, silence nurtures compassion. When you practice silence, you become more aware not only of your inner world, but also of others. Rewarding it becomes. To support this process, be gentle with yourself. Start small, be consistent, and allow silence to grow naturally in your life. Notice how your mind and body respond over time. Celebrate the moments of calm, no matter how brief they seem. In daily life, silence can also be a powerful tool in conflict and decision-making. When emotions run high, taking a moment of silence before responding helps prevent reactive or harmful words. Silence allows space for reflection, reducing misunderstandings and fostering peaceful resolution. Finally, remember that silence wins not because it is always easy or obvious, but because it reveals a deeper truth about living well. It reminds us that amidst the constant noise, our greatest strength lies in presence, clarity, and calm. Thank you for staying with me in this exploration. In the next and final part, we will consider silence's role in society and culture, and how embracing silence can lead to a more thoughtful and compassionate world. Until then, keep finding those quiet moments. They are more powerful than they seem. So far, we have reflected on the meaning and power of silence and how to cultivate it in our daily lives. Now we will consider silence's role in society and culture, and how embracing silence can help build a more thoughtful, compassionate world. Society today is filled with noise, not just sound, but opinions, arguments, advertisements, and endless streams of information. This noise shapes how we think, how we relate to others, and how communities function. Often the loudest voices dominate the conversation, leaving little room for quieter perspectives or thoughtful reflection. This creates divisions and misunderstandings. Silence, when embraced collectively, offers a different path. It encourages listening rather than talking, understanding rather than judgment, and patience rather than haste. Silence in society is not about submission or passivity. It is an active choice to create space for connection and wisdom. In many cultures, silence has long been respected as a valuable practice. For example, Native American traditions honor the power of silence in ceremonies and storytelling. Japanese culture includes the concept of the meaningful silence or pause that allows space for creativity and communication. These traditions remind us that silence enriches human experience beyond mere absence of sound. When a society values silence, it promotes respect for diversity of thought. Instead of rushing to fill every moment with noise, people learn to appreciate different viewpoints and to think deeply before speaking. This slows down the rush of reaction and helps prevent conflict fueled by misunderstanding. Silence can also be a form of protest and power. Throughout history, silence has been used intentionally to draw attention to injustice or to express dignity and strength without words. Silence resists noise that distracts from truth. It demands that others pay attention because silence itself is meaningful and demands respect. In today's political and social climate, where debates often become shouting matches, silence offers a way to reclaim thoughtful dialogue. It teaches us that not every disagreement needs to be a battle. Sometimes listening quietly with openness can create the foundation for real understanding and change. Moreover, silence invites us to question the culture of busyness and constant stimulation. In many societies, being busy is seen as a sign of success or importance. Noise is mistaken for productivity, but this constant rush often leads to burnout, anxiety, and shallow living. Choosing silence counters this trend by reminding us to slow down and prioritize well-being. It encourages mindfulness, balance, and deeper engagement with life. Communities that cultivate silence through meditation centers, parks, libraries, or simply spaces for quiet reflection promote mental health and social harmony. Silence also plays a vital role in education. Learning is not just about absorbing information. It requires time to think, question, and internalize knowledge. Silence allows students to process, to be curious, and to develop critical thinking skills. Teachers who value silence create classrooms where deep learning happens naturally. In our personal relationships, silence can strengthen bonds. Sharing quiet moments together fosters intimacy and trust. It shows that we are comfortable with presence itself, without the need for constant conversation or distraction. Silence in relationships is a language of its own, a language of respect, patience, and love. Yet silence is not a cure-all. It must be balanced with expression and action. Silence without expression can become repression or isolation. The goal is harmony, knowing when to speak and when to listen, when to act and when to pause. This balance brings wisdom and peace. Finally, embracing silence in a noisy world is an act of courage and care. It means valuing what is invisible, the spaces between words, the quiet moments of connection, the depth beneath surface noise. Silence teaches us that the richest parts of life often lie beyond sound, beyond distraction. So how can we, as individuals and communities, make silence a part of our culture? We can start by creating rituals of silence, daily meditation, moments of gratitude, quiet walks. We can encourage listening in conversations and reduce unnecessary noise in public spaces. We can respect the silence of others and offer silence as a gift in our interactions. In doing so, we not only improve our own lives but contribute to a society that values depth, compassion, and thoughtful presence. In a world full of noise, silence does not just survive, it wins. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the power of silence. I hope these reflections inspire you to find and cherish silence in your own life. Remember, in the midst of noise, silence is a victory that belongs to all of us.